Hi there, and welcome to the explanation of Unit 12, Chapter 1, the first chapter of the final unit in our text. In this chapter, we are going to have a brief look at how to tell a story. Storytelling has been around for hundreds of years, with many famous ones, such as Cinderella and Pygmalion, being retold in many different ways. Telling a story from your own experience is also a great way to improve your communication skills. Let's have a look at the basic points you need to think about when you tell a story. So this is what we're going to have a look at in this video. I'll start with a preview of our Dictogloss topic for this class, then introduce you to one of my favorite storybooks. We'll have a quick look at the main points to think about when you write a story, and see a few other points in the text. Finally, after a reminder about the homework, I'll talk about the topic for your composition this week. Let's get into it. Can you tell when someone is telling the truth or lying? In this week's Dictogloss task, we will hear a few hints and pieces of advice about how to pick if someone is being truthful or not. To prepare, do a little research about the topic, so you'll be ready to do your best in this task. I'm sure we all have a favorite story or book that we have either read or had read to us. This story here is kind of cute. It's called The Boy Giant. You can actually purchase it for your smartphone or tablet. It's not that expensive, so if you have a few extra yen, try buying it. I'm sure you'll like the story too. Although most stories are different, they often follow very similar patterns. Early in the story, we need to tell the reader about the characters in the story. Then, we also need to talk about where the story is taking place. After we have given this background information, we can get in and tell the story. Finally, we want to make sure there is some kind of message for the readers. This message can be very clear, or something you want the readers to imply from your story. This message can be something you learned, or some advice you want to give the readers based on your story or experience. We start with the first two paragraphs of the story. We need to have a title, of course, and the title of this story is The Greedy Innkeeper. Make sure you have a title when you write your story this week. We also need to mention the characters and where the story takes place. In this case, the place, a beautiful mountain inn, comes first. We also find the two main characters, a greedy old innkeeper and a rich man. Notice the use of a and the in this story. The first time these characters are introduced, we use a, and after that, when we are talking about the same characters, we use the to show we are referring to the characters we introduced before. Think about this carefully when you write, because the difference between a and the often causes problems for many. We now move into the main part of the story. Notice that there is a narrator, an actual speech spoken by the characters. The verbs used in the narration should be in the past tense, and those in the character's speech should be in the present tense. I will be looking at how you use your verbs, so make sure you combine both narration and direct speech in your story. We can also see some good creative language throughout this story. For example, here, rather than just saying the innkeeper was very happy, the writer used a negative phrase, could hardly contain. Again, by using dish after dish, the reader can easily create an image of the innkeeper serving a lot of ginger buds, more so than just saying she served him many plates of ginger buds. Try using such creative writing in your own story this week. Finally, in your conclusion, you need to finish the story and make sure the reader will be able to see the main message. We always want to make things easy for our readers, so I suggest making the message clear and easy to see. Remember that your homework is due the night before our class. Have it submitted before the deadline so I'll be able to return it to you and talk about your strengths and weaknesses during class. Here is the Your Turn topic for this week. I would like you to tell a story that contains a simple message. The story can be from your own experience or from someone else's experience. Make sure you review the main points to be aware of when you write, and have your composition ready for class. See you then.